Hi, I'm Coach Clarissa, and today we are going to run through a leg workout, so lower body day. We're going to start out with an adductor hold. So this is good for building strength in the adductors, but more importantly, this is good for building a tendon strength. When we do an isometric hold, a weighted contraction, and we hold that for 30-45 seconds, it really helps to strengthen specifically the tendon. So that's going to help in preventing injuries. That's going to help make us stronger overall. That will help protect joints. So we are starting out with an adductor hold. With that, you don't want to make the weight very heavy to start. Like say if you normally do the adductor machine, go ahead and start with about 25% of the weight that you would normally do. Hold that for 30 to 45 seconds and then you'll see how it feels. If it's easy, increase the weight slightly. What you don't want to do is pull your adductor. So work that weight up. You should be able to work it up every week, as you know, this is something that you practice. But we are starting with about 25% of what your total load generally is, and then working the weight up gradually over a period of time there.
This is an adductor isometric hold. So we're going to use the adductor machine here. We're going to put on a lighter weight and we're going to squeeze the knee pads in and just hold them in the fully squeezed position. We're going to hold it for 45 seconds. So it needs to not be a heavy weight to strain, but one that does feel a little challenging to hold. Then we also want to work on our breathing. So making sure that we are inhaling and exhaling fully and really engaging our core, bringing that rib cage together, drawing up the bottom of the pelvic floor. So nice big deep breaths here, and we're just holding. You can check in, make sure your core is contracted, check in and make sure that your quads aren't doing the work or your hip flexors, and that we're just squeezing those adductors. So set your timer, 45 seconds, and you're just gonna hold and then slow release.
Next is one of my favorite exercises. So it's the barbell glute thrust, which I'm sure a lot of us know, right? But I have found that this particular way of doing it, this particular method, is really, really beneficial for people that have a tendency to feel the glute thrust in their back, or they feel it in just their quads. But it's generally with women that have anterior pelvic tilt. So this is a method where we do it's called a triple extension. So we're coming up and then we're going up onto the toes and then walking out at the top, right? So we get extension 3 times. But by coming up on the toes, you are really driving through your glutes and you're forcing your adductors to work and you're really hitting the bottom of the glute, and it can really, really be a game changer for a lot of women. So if this, if the glute thrust is something that you've been struggling with and feeling your glutes, give this a try. Let me know how it works. But anyhow, the glute thrust, that we can load that heavy. So start that, maybe 8 reps, work your way up to 15, add some more weight, work your way back up again. So it's a great progressive overload exercise.
So this is a variation of the barbell glute thrust with triple extension. I've been using it with my clients that have anterior pelvic tilt, and it's been a real game changer. So I want you to be able to see my core in this exercise, because if you are doing glute thrust and your core is blowing out like a balloon, you're not managing your pressure. So we contract the core, we set up like we normally do, and as we press up to full extension, we rise up onto our toes. This coming up onto your toes really seems to help my ladies with the anterior pelvic tilt keep the contraction in the glute without transferring it to the back. You can see here that pressure is managed, the core is nice and contracted, everything is staying stable, and we are managing the internal pressure. When we see that we have our stomach blow out like a balloon, what we're doing is just driving all of our air down to our pelvic floor and working on blowing that out. So we keep the core nice and tight and contracted. Exhale as you come back up to keep that super contracted and solid. And then at the top, we rise up onto our toes, really driving that force through the glutes. And this is our triple extension, barbell glute thrust.
Then from there, we're working on dumbbell RDL, so dumbbell Romanian deadlift. With that, our foot position is everything. So really pay attention in the video, really get those cues, ground down, get those feet anchored to the floor, work your hinge, load your foot, and by proxy, you will load your glute. So it's a big game changer for a lot of women to do this particular cueing for the deadlift.
Dumbbell RDL. And I want you to get your feet right under your hips, not out, not in, but right under your hips. We're going to set the shoulders back, get the core tight. And then I want you to hinge, so stick your hips back. Shoulders stay back, they're locked, right? Our lats are holding our arms, so they're nice and close. Then I want you to take and get that weight distributed over your toes, okay? So that our weight is divided between the heel and the toe. Then I want you to take and really ground down through your big toe, take your heels and press out. You should feel your glutes and the head of your hamstrings light up. Now keep that contraction in your foot, keep the contraction in your core, and stand up. We're going to hinge again. So keep your feet rooted in like that. That's opening up the back of the pelvis and really engaging the glutes, forcing that glute hamstring area to really take a lot of the load here. Shoulders stay back, core stays tight. This isn't so much about the load as it is about controlling it. We want to load it, yes, but we really want to control it. Keep your weight over the toes. Like don't just dig your toes in. I want weight in the toes. Push your heels out. Stand up. Hinge. Feel that load. Use that contraction. We don't need to stand all the way up. We just need to chase that feeling in that glute hamstring area. Keep your core really tight and use your exhale to help you stand up. All right. So the only place you should feel this is glutes, hamstrings, tie-in area. You should not feel back. You shouldn't really feel the traps. It's just all.
And then our last exercise today is going to be the matrix perfect squat. So with that particular machine, like I go through in the video, there's different ways to utilize that particular machine. Since we've just done deadlifts, I wouldn't recommend doing the deadlift or the reverse version of the perfect squat, but instead I would utilize it to do actual squats today. That way you're getting your whole leg. But with the perfect squat machine, it does keep you locked in really well so that your form stays really good throughout the entire movement. So you should feel quads, you should feel hamstrings, you should feel glutes, and then maybe you could use it and finish off and do some calf raises at the end of your exercise. Again, utilize progressive overload. We want to be lifting heavy so that we are constantly challenging that muscle to grow. That is the only way we make progress.
Hi, I'm Coach Clarissa, and today we are going to talk about this piece of equipment. It is the Matrix Perfect Squat, but it's really adaptable. So you can squat, you can deadlift, you can do Bulgarians, you can also, I suppose, do calf raises, but it's a really excellent station for a squat, especially if you are having problems with your back squat. Come over here. It's not called the perfect squat for no reason. So you want to step in. Find your good squat positioning with your feet. You want to make sure they're stacked, so toes slightly pointed out. We want feet under the hips or just slightly out. We're going to go here, and then you're going to hinge back and down for your squat. Press through your whole foot, come back up. So you're in a really great position, alignment-wise, to do the squat. So you can make it more quad. First, by bringing your feet together, walk them back a little bit, get more quad that way. You can take out the whole foot plate, you can order adductor funky squat, and walk your feet off a little bit, hinge, and turn it into sort of a leaning deadlift. And then if you're going to do calf raise, you should walk all the way back, go down, up all the way onto your big toe, and then you'll find that eccentric portion of it. Split squats. I love doing split squats over here. So here's step back, Let's do the front foot. So it gives you several different options to use it. It's really versatile. It keeps your form pretty like locked in so that all of the movements are really safe. If you want a hand using it, or if you're not sure if your form is right, just head on over to the front desk and we can sort of.
All right. Well, if you did the workout, let me know. If you loved it, I would love to know. If you hated it, let me know too. That feedback's always great. Anyways, have a beautiful rest of your day, and be sure to like and subscribe so that you can continue to get our videos, and I will see you next time.